Yeah, oh dear indeed. You know what I'm here for. Oh really? Well, let me break this down for you. I am a landlord. You are my tenant. Oh, would you look at what day it is? What a coincidence. You owe me rent, and I just happen to be at your door. What were the chances of that? Okay, enough games now. I am very busy. Got a load of business calls to get through. Multi-million-dollar deals to be made. So, we're going to play this game, are we? Fine. I'll come inside. No, I wouldn't like anything to drink. Besides, I own a cafe a few blocks down. I go there whenever I do want a hot beverage. Inviting me to sit down on my own sofa. Well, let's turn the tables. I will give the orders. Sit down. Now. You must be wondering why a multi-billionaire like myself would crack down on rent on people like yourself. Well, you see, it's quite complicated. I will tell you briefly, without giving you too much information to incriminate me. I mean, why are you complaining? Look at this place, and how little I am charging you for it. It's criminal. Someone like you would never be able to afford it under normal circumstances. Oh, don't take offense. None was intended. I mean, realistically, unless you are a millionaire, there is no way you can afford this. And, statistically, there are very few millionaires in this world. Therefore, very few people could afford to live here. But that doesn't answer the question of why I need your rent. When one earns as much as I do, the government doesn't like that. They want a piece of the cake. They charge me so much tax that I may as well not work at all. So, that's where things get a little complicated. To keep as much money as I can, to maintain my billionaire status, I need to be smart with my money. This involves putting some of it in hidden accounts overseas, and another one, money laundering. I mean, take that cafe for instance. I own several. You really think I would buy a cafe just to have as many nice drinks as I want? As if I couldn't afford to buy them individually as and when I want them. Now, here's another one. Property. Honestly, I have no interest in being a landlord. In fact, most of my properties I just pay people to run it for me. But, in this case, there are two things keeping me from doing that. Firstly, I live very close by, so I may as well get involved. Secondly, it's hard to explain. When we first met, back when you were doing that shitty little job just to scrape enough money to rent in a shithole of an apartment, as you said, something fatherly inside me, if there is such a thing, sparked. I could offer you somewhere 1,000,000 times nicer for less than half of what you were paying. I mean, how was about to rent this place to someone rich, someone who could afford it. But over the years I have lived, I have come to learn that money isn't everything. In fact, it's a curse. The more you have, the more you want. It's a disease, something I want to cure myself of. But instead of giving it to the government and tax, I want to give it to something good. Things that would help people directly. But that is a work in progress. So, back to your rent. I am making a loss having you here, paying next to nothing to live here. But that rent is seen by outsiders as a source of revenue and keeping my businesses running. Does that make sense? Not really. It's very complex. Not something that is easy to explain. But essentially, you paying rent in a long and confusing way helps me keep most of my money. No, don't you worry. I'm not really in a rush. I don't often make business calls since I can just get others to do it for me. But if it's okay with you, I'd like to talk some more. Is this a good time for you? Lovely. Come to the window with me. Look outside. What do you see? Yes, a city. Some say the buildings are beautiful, others that it's an eyesore. But do you know what I see? Money. Lots of it. That building over there, the tall one. Do you see that even at night? You can see the top floor with its lights on. That floor will be full of people working themselves to death just to make a little more money. That used to be me. Then, by finding a way to cheat the system, I am now the top dog. Oh, don't you worry. It's not like I'm breaking any laws. At least, not technically. I hire many lawyers to make sure nothing I do can ever be used against me. But once you reach the top, I tell you, you realize how meaningless it all is. Money can buy you anything, except time. The time we all give to make money. I remember the first thing I spent a fortune on was a car. You see all these influencers flexing their cars on social media. By the way, influencers don't own the cars, they just hire them. I would know because one of my businesses is a car dealership who rents to them. But anyway, back to my story. After 2 days, even a supercar gets boring. I mean, they are just metal cases that drive on wheels. I remember my first ever car. My parents bought it for me. It was a real piece of shit. My parents didn't have much money, but that car, and the gesture behind it, made me happier than any amount of money ever did. Look at me, talking like an old man. I'm barely even middle-aged. Is there something you want to ask? You look like you wanted to say something, but too shy. It's okay. I may have a hardened, cold exterior, but it protects me from people out there after my money. So please, speak up. Yes, earlier I did say I felt something fatherly inside me when I saw you struggling at work. You want me to clarify? Well, I can try. I don't really know how to explain it, but I felt something towards you. Something strong. I don't know if fatherly is the right word, because I'm not that much older than you. I don't want to say romantic either, in case it creeps you out. Fine, I'll say it. I am, without doubt, very attracted to you. You are my type. But you probably have a partner, or have no interest in me. You're single. Is that so? You think I'm hot? Well, now, I wasn't born yesterday. I know when someone is just trying to get into my good books. That happens a lot when people know I have money. You know, it is quite tempting. Maybe I could come to realize a little fantasy I may or may not have had about you. Though I'm sure you can use your imagination. Well, for a start, perhaps you could be my little plaything. My adorable little pet. Do you think you can be obedient for me? And, in return, you get certain perks. After all, pets don't have to work or pay rent, do they? Well, that escalated quickly, considering I just came here for your rent. But who cares? And maybe, if you're a good little pet, you can become more than just a pet. Someone to share my vast wealth with. You want that? I guess you can start calling me Daddy. No one has ever called me that before. Go ahead. Say it. Yes, what? That's a good sugar baby. But in order to make this official, I'm going to need you to sign this. Oh yes, I came prepared. I had this document made a while ago, just in case. And the day has finally come. It's just a formality to protect both of us from anything undesirable. Like you ever turning this around against me, twisting the truth and saying that I manipulated you. It's all here, and I'm being very blunt about what our relationship entails. This is what we both want. You get to live a glamorous life that you deserve for free, whereas I get to come home to someone special, someone I get to spoil and love. That's it. Good baby. And now it's official. Come, baby dearest. Let's get you out of this meager flat. We are upgrading you to my private suite. Oh, you'll love it. It's 10 times bigger than this place, with better views, better space, and better company. I leave your stuff here. I'll get someone to move it soon. I want to show my baby their new home.